Oh, good morning. Nice to see you.
Didn't see you either. How are you?
Oh, good.
Good. Good.
Ready when you
Right,
are,
you're in
Chris.
something, so
What's that?
Ready when you.
What's that?
right, you're in coffee.
Oh, Jerry. All right. Good morning, everyone. We'll call to order the August 5th meeting of the Madison County Board of Commissioners. My name is Chris Wallace. If everybody would please introduce themselves.
Tony Sinikas.
Brennan Chang, Rob Slang, the county administrator.
There, Chief. Michael Flanagan, Assistant Prosecutor. John Swing, York.
Probably.
Kevin Weaver with the Engineer's Office.
Amy Reese Clerk.
Very good. Everybody should have received a copy of last week's meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Well, first and a second. Any other discussion? None heard. Roll call, please.
Mr. Shea,
Yes.
Dr. Sneakus.
Yes.
Mr. Wallace.
Yes. Mr. Chair, you'd like to kick us off?
Everyone, finished up last week with, 2 retirements. If I don't have to do that again, it's hard. Good, I'm happy for them, but not good when you lose your staff with all the years of experience that you have. Tina Saban is retired after 30 years and, moved on. And the following day, we launched our unit director, Jeff Sims. She's moved on. Just want to let you know, we're moving forward. I was anticipating Tina's departure and already, for someone in that position, got them trained and administratively, business as usual for the sheriff's office. Holly McCoy on an EMA, we've been working with her over the months to get her prepared for that position and transition with that retirement. And I was able to get her sworn in as our new director yesterday for the EMA. I have tasked her already with filing up persons of interest and applications for an assistant director position. At that point in time, I'll drive the team to go over a few that they choose. And I got quite a few applications, some of them with quite a bit of experience. I don't think they probably understand the salary cap that we have on that, so it probably leaves some of them out when they understand it. Probably not what they're thinking.
Is that salary cap listed on the post?
We did not, and probably should have, so, which is good, gave us some good candidates. Maybe there's some that have quite an extensive, experience in it that they're trying to slow down, or, sometimes you get those employees that they're retired or moved on, and just kind of want a smaller need, bring some experience, and we'll see, hopefully we'll get the best candidate for, the most reasonable money that we can. So, the only one item of business I have of you this morning, which Amy will address in their first session, is since the retirement of Deputy Tina Saban and the collective bargaining agreement that allows employees with qualified years of experience to purchase their duty weapon. I've submitted that for your review. Something that was a big quote. Very
good.
Probably, Rob, we probably ought to get together, I imagine, with the legislation that has moved, now, October, I think, which I think the legislation will take effect, not knowing what it is, we probably have to get together and we get the band back together and think about it, so we're prepared. Good. Other than that, do you gentlemen have any items of me this morning?
No, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did my guy ever get back?
Yeah, tomorrow, one Monday after it's supposed to, I did meet with them again, we walked around for the placement of where we want to put them. Sounds like Doug and Tim have been some conversation, we're talking about it.
Yeah, I saw that email yesterday.
Yeah, I think they want to put so that certain people only have certain access to some of the cameras, like our deputy at the front door or whatever, we might require people to grab a couple PCs maybe and section those off.
Yeah, it's all doable. I just didn't know if they had a delivery date of the hardware.
Yeah. We could follow up, but it seems like it's taking forever.
I mean, at least with the cloud connector where we get our existing cameras on.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's moving forward. They've had some, you know, I'd like to say pretty soon, but I want the other ones done. Talked about, I want
Yeah,
the additional one, that's not working with the.
Very good. Mr. Kleinman, anything from the prosecutor's office, sir?
Yeah, losing staff is a theme, it seems like. Raquel Davis, another assistant prosecutor, was appointed by the Republican Central Committee London members as the new London law director. So she will have to run in November for the remainder of the unexpired term. But that leaves a vacancy in our office, so I believe that Nick and Luana are working together to create a posting for the near future. Raquel graciously agreed to handle her municipal docket for London as well as our municipal docket until we find the replacement, and so there shouldn't be any lost coverage there. Courthouse will be busy. Next Tuesday, we have a jury trial, State of Ohio versus Owen Hamel. It's a single count felony, 3 failure to comply, should be a 1-day trial, but that will be next Tuesday. And then next Thursday, we have a full day of grand jury, a couple big sheriff's office cases. And so we're just plugging right along. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate that update. Thanks, sir. Mr. Cal?
Sure. Couple items, one, I'll pass it around, no change in the, project, list that we're working on. The second item I have is the policy that we had discussed about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. I don't know if you want to pass these around too. There's, each one has 2. And this is probably more for and I talked to Amy maybe next week. Looking at having a more time set aside for this, but, you know, as there's more, and this is right now, this would be for the state route 29, the US 42 area, and the and also the enterprise zone that covers the West Jeff area as well. These are the areas that we cover as a county when it comes to these types of potential abatements. You know, I asked you to maybe set aside some more time next week. I know Dennis is going to be on his way up, give a presentation about the zoning code, and I don't want to take too much time away from him and the other things we're working on. You know, want to give more thought to this. There is one pretty strong interested party out at 42 and 29 on the east side of the south, let's just call it the southeast side of the intersection there. And then the site plans will remain of the site, and yeah, a proposal for 3 extra buildings potentially. Nothing set, but just kind of like they're looking at how the rest of the land would be used. So, and also we obviously know there's a well-known developer and landowner out there as well that is looking to develop in the future. And as water and sewer becomes available, there's going to be a need for, or there's going to be opportunity for more development. So my thought is, you know, every deal is unique. Every opportunity is unique. There's little things, little quirks here and there that makes. You have to kind of be flexible, but I would feel more comfortable, and I feel like you guys probably feel more comfortable too if there was some sort of, you know, set guidelines that we can build off of to include in the agreements to present as a, hey, this is at least a starting point. You know, and it just kind of helps with negotiations and discussions, and also there's the thought of you know. And I would be a proponent of looking at what we incentivize. I mean, you know, we have so many distribution centers in this county now, and West Jeff's gonna continue to have those opportunities. Do we, maybe, I don't never want to say no to something, but is there a way, you know, do we look at not incentivizing something as much as others, you know? So, not looking for action this week. I wanted to reintroduce this, to have a little bit of discussion. Again, I'm gonna ask Amy next week there's no urgency with this, the one project that we're looking at. That is fairly serious, they're gonna look at a couple options, but I think we're kind of up there as a number one or one A. They have to go through, they have to split off the parcel, go through rezoning. So we're looking at, for the project to start, we're probably looking at spring of next year. So we wouldn't be needing this something right away, and we're already having discussions about what their potential abatement could be if it was to be pursued. And we've already included Jefferson Township on that. They've been very active. That's always have been when it comes to these types of deals, to make sure everybody's on the same page and knows what they're getting into. So, yeah, I'm gonna ask Amy to put about 30 minutes, maybe 15, 30 minutes next week. We have a more intense discussion about this. Because again, obviously with the executive session and then also Dennis's presentation, I didn't want to keep pushing things back. So just wanted to reintroduce this, and if there's any quick questions, that's fine. If not, we can save more discussion next week. Fine.
Yep, that all sounds good. Yeah, it'll be a worthwhile conversation. Anything from the engineer's office?
Sure, just a couple of construction updates. We're, hot and heavy on the chip seal project. We've got about 3 weeks remaining on that if the weather cooperates. We're also working on the Plain City Georgesville Road Bridge, kind of in the middle of Plain City, Georgesville. We're off to the side thankfully there, so until we get a little further along in the project, we won't be seeing any road closures on that. We'll be doing some traffic control. It'll be a couple weeks down the road, though. They will need to close the road for a few days in order to do the final steps of that process. Big Plain Circle Road Bridge over Deer Creek, just east of Plain Run Road starts next week, so that will be a full closure for approximately 120 days, depending on how well things go. And today we got a resolution for the roundabout project, which is a Plain City, Georgesville on Congress / Cemetery Road. Right now, just so you know, we've got about half of the funding for that covered through an ODOT grant, and we are in the process of applying in the next week for the remainder of the funding for that project through a separate safety program through ODOT as well. So we're hopeful that, and the consultant said that project should score very well. So we are hopeful that that funding will come through about that fully funded here shortly. I think that's it. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to do what I can.
Talking about roundabouts, Spring Valley 665, the last 2.5 weeks, you could probably check those 4 wrecks.
Yeah, that is one of the main intersections in our county. I know, like, we obviously know the Fifth Cemetery, bike one up there, and then 142 and Spring Valley, and the number 665 is the highest. The highest number we have, not surprising, and I know that's in the works,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, they're in the design phase right now, starting to get the.
There's a meeting on the 14th.
Correct, yeah. Construction probably need a year and a half,
Yeah.
2 years out again.
I mean, they put flashing stop sign, and they
They
did,
took the stop sign out.
is there any rumbles? Is there a stop sign?
The car.
Did we
I don't think so.
Did we do rumble strips there on Spring Valley?
Did rumble strips about, it's gotta be, it was when the old engineer was there.
Yeah.
That was the solution back then, which was not a solution.
Did we do away with them?
No, they're still there. They're just kind of, they've been smoothed over.
Do we have double stop signs?
Yes, yep, and they're quite a bit apart. Everything should work, but it doesn't.
People are not paying attention. A reminder of that bridge project on Plain City, Georgesville, PGW, Delaware, put those message signed up, letting the public know in advance that they expect for a closer to something to come and take this. Doesn't get what, appreciate that. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Mr. Floyd.
Continuing with the theme of the day, we've had a spike in employee turnover at Job and Family Services, so I'll be meeting with staff there hopefully later this week to take a look at that and put our heads together to see how we can maybe come up with some strategies on retaining employees out there, but we continue to be what appears to be a stepping stone, more or less.
How many people are leaving?
We had 3 last week, and one was moving back to take care of, elderly parents, so that one is kind of a, yeah, anomaly, but yeah, the other 2 is, taking positions elsewhere, that sort of thing, so.
Yeah, but that's a never ending.
It is there, but we had several personnel action forms come across my desk. And which then Robin called and said, hey, just so you know, we've had a spike there and it's not quite as bad as what it appears, but yeah, at the same time, probably. Yeah, just need to have some discussions. It's not a sinking ship by any means there. It's, the state requires people to have bachelor's degrees, they have $80,000 in school loans. We pay $20 an hour. It's, I'm throwing out some arbitrary numbers there, but a lot of it is high. I'm sorry.
He did a good job with that weight scale now. Not for me to help, help with Polly and her, and kind of with it back to me, yes. Okay.
Yeah, we've put a lot of incentives in place and steps and so forth, so on. It's just, that field in general, it's not a high earning field.
Didn't we go through all that about 2 years ago?
We did the salary survey, we tried to bring it up, get them in a better spot, and be more competitive with surrounding counties, so they wouldn't ditch us for a neighboring county, but. If it's worth revisiting that again, I mean, I think we,
Well,
I think we brought it up to the market. I mean,
Yeah,
we had actually like pick away and Union and our neighbors.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure if we really need to revisit that. It might be just, a few different things and really need to dive into it to see exactly what it was, look at the exit interviews and, kind of see what we can glean from that information.
Yeah.
Go from there, so.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not a sinking ship by any means, but just, just to let you know.
Sure.
And it does seem to be the theme for today, so I did definitely want to keep that theme moving forward, and so. My next, thing on the agenda is a request for executive session, which I believe we have scheduled at 9 o'clock. Consultation with the, legal representation on pending litigation, potential litigation, so.
Move to approve.
Second.
We'll do it now, or do you want to hold on?
No, I don't,
I don't think they're here, I don't think they're here yet.
yeah, so.
Oh, I thought they were gonna chime in on it.
Well, we have, our consultants are going to join us, so. At 9 o'clock.
Oh, they will, okay. I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna do by teams.
Well, they are, but I don't see them in the meeting, so.
Why don't you go ahead? Will you take more than 5 minutes?
I'll have to.
No, okay.
The only reason I'm here is if I want.
Okay.
Explanation.
Okay.
Revision of the ordinance.
Okay, good. We'll go, let's do it.
Okay, so, the zoning resolution haven't been revised in 23 years. It lacks a lot of things. That's why it's so buzzed compared to when it used to be. It went from 125 to 375, maybe 400 pages. And there's so many standards that wasn't in there that should have been. A lot of definitions that wasn't in there that should have been. And then you have a lot of things that didn't match between our development briefs to our zoning resolution, to the overlay district, to, the other stuff we have out there. So we have different books, but they're not saying the same thing. So I combined a lot of that into the zoning ordinance. And so now they're all matched. So that's why it's so much larger than it used to be, because if our zoning standards for the subdivision says one thing, the zoning resolution says another, now there's a conflict. Now we're gonna have issues because they don't match and people don't know what to do.
So I'm trying, that's what I did, I just merged them together to make them match, make it make sense. Everything, the different overlays, you know, there's other things where the definition didn't match, so I had them match. I, added more stuff to home occupation, made it make sense, so it'd be easier for the boards of appeal to make a decision on stuff. When people come in for a variance, they can't just do a variance because they want to. It has to be because there's something that they have no control of, like a floodplain. They can't say, well, I want a 5-foot variance and side setback because I like to be that close. No, is there a reason? Do you have a septic tank that's there? Do you have this that prevent you from moving back? That's the reason why this needs to be changed. I mean, there's so much to go over more than 5 minutes. But, you know, in the long haul, there's things where we talk about like adult entertainment. We have no standards for it. So I put standards in there for it. It's like for cell towers or containers, stuff that we never had before we have. You know, it's not perfect, but at least every year or two, we can always revise a section. There's so much that you can have to put in there that I just want to at least get some kind of standard so we can work with. If we need to, we can increase it, or if the board wants to, at least they have somewhere to start. Instead of saying, well, we have nothing to ordinance that prevents this from happening, so I guess we can do it. So now at least we have the standards, and they can always, board can always make the recommendation of increasing more to it if they want to. If they want to see more trees, or landscaping, more berms, whatever, that's what the boards can do. So I'm giving them more power, saying, okay, this is what we can work with.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty clear that our zoning code was out of date and inadequate. I mean, it was in desperate need of an update. So yeah, we appreciate all your work that you're putting into it.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah, I thank you as well, Dennis. On the, I sent the adult entertainment model regulation from the Attorney General yesterday, and I guess my question was, I didn't know if there's a way to be, because we went from basically saying it has to be a conditional use permit, right, to adding the 1,500 feet requirements. Can we be more restrictive than that? I mean, that's why I was looking into the Attorney General's model regulation just to see what can be done. Now, that was written for townships, but I didn't know, can we include something like that, or should it be a standalone ordinance? And did you have any thoughts on that, or?
Well, I mean, that's the board can make recommendations of, you know, that's why I gave everybody a chance to look at. I know it's a whole lot to do,
Right.
A whole lot to read. But like I said, it's not perfect, but at least it's give us something to start with, and we can just amend just that section. You know, if we need to add more to the standards, we can. I mean, if you want me to add more to the standards by the time you guys see it, I can. You know, like I said, it's not perfect, but at least we have some kind of standards. Because before we had nothing. And it could have been adult entertainment right beside somebody's house or right beside school because we had nothing to prevent it.
Right.
So, yeah, any recommendation, you know, anybody have, you know, this, you know, that's why you guys have this time to look at it. You know, I have no problem, you know, making any kind of changes to it, and that's what I've been doing, so I have added different light fixtures and, the way they have to be directed down, and stuff like that, so I just added that not too long ago, because the engineer talked to me about it, and, you know, I agreed, you know, those are great standards to have, so, you know, that's something that was just added into it, so it just, every day there's something always comes up where you're like, oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. You know, until a project comes up where all of a sudden it's like, oh, that should have been in there. So.
And you've been working with Nick on the gallows for everything being in there. You know.
Yes, yes. So Nick got a copy of it. So I sent it to every board. Every board member had it, and, you know, once in a while they send a comment about something, and we talk about it, and I talk to Nick, because if Nick can't be a good representative of it, then can't prove it, you know. They can't go to court and say, yes, this is a good ordinance, I can defend it. Then, you know, we can go forward with it, not, we can't.
This document has been passed around through the team several times now, so we've all basically had input, one form or fashion.
Yeah, and I have I have no doubt that it will be a great improvement on the current code, so. I don't have any other questions. Anybody else? Very good.
I just wanted to say from a township trustee perspective, Dennis has been good to work with. We just in the very nature of talking about, light pollution, for example, never even thought of that term, 5 years ago. And here we had real complaints. And Dennis and I, we were able to work with the property owner, and everything was cordial and professional. So from my perspective, I'm very appreciative of what Dennis has been trying.
Glad to hear that. It's good. All good.
I did want to take just 30 seconds here real quick, because I know we have a 9 o'clock scheduled, but as I mentioned earlier, we do have a disgruntled citizen out there by the name of Steve Ramsey. He makes multiple phone calls a week and is unprofessional, derogatory, essentially is cussing out staff. My guidance has been to tell him that until he could speak cordially and professionally to staff, the conversation is over, and to hang up the phone. Needless to say, he was at BZA last night. I'm sure he was probably not the most pleasant person to deal with, but his neighbor has a conditional use to run his business out of his house. So far, everything indicates he is in compliance. The neighbor feels different. So he's just not happy with the outcome. But there's not anything that can be done. But needless to say, our staff does not need to be dealing with that on the regular. So I said I've asked Dennis next time he talks to him to mention, and maybe he did last night, mention to him the Board of County Commissioners meet every Tuesday from 8:30 till whenever. He's more than welcome to come in and address these issues with you, and I will sit here and say the exact same thing.
Yeah, so he was very verbally abusive and said a couple of racial comments. At that point, I was like, I'm done talking to you. I tried everything. He complained that it was messy, it was trash out there, so I cited his neighbor. He went to court, got fined. I don't know if he paid his court fees, but he cleaned up the property. Then he complained about he didn't have a home occupation, so he went through the whole process, got approved for home occupation. And now, his neighbor's saying that he's temporary clothes, and now this morning he said he's thinking about his clothes altogether. So, like I said, I just told, it's really bad where he's cursing staff out, me, Jody, people in the commissioner's office. I mean, he just goes on, and he just thinks he can just treat us like trash.
So just an FYI, in case you encounter him or he decides to show up at one of these meetings. With that said, I'll recommend moving into executive session, conferences with public bodies attorney concerning pending or imminent court action by Division V3 of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Can I get a signature on an easement document?
Sure.
Ag easement?
Who do you need to sign it?
Yeah, the commissioner has to sign it. It's for the IRS. An ag easement. You guys done plenty of them in the past.
Did we already grant the ag easement?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
This is just following the tax return.
Yeah, I'm authorized to sign that as a clerk.
Oh, yeah, okay. I could have come earlier with you.
Yeah, definitely.
You did it. Yeah, so you would never, you could figure out if there were